They say time is a river, but what if it's a labyrinth? What if the present is just a veil, and the past and future aren't destinations, but frequencies? There exists a book, shrouded in secrecy, whispered about in occult circles, and hidden from the public eye for centuries. A book said to contain the keys to stepping outside of linear time, not with machines or wormholes, but with consciousness itself. It's not science fiction. It's not fantasy. This forbidden manuscript, lost to history and later condemned by religious authorities, reveals techniques that ancient mystics, Sufi adepts, and even early Christian Gnostics once practiced in secret. Techniques that allowed them to glimpse moments beyond their era, to send their awareness backward and forward through the corridors of time. This is not merely about seeing the future like a crystal ball prophecy. This is psychic time travel, the ability to shift perception beyond the temporal cage, to retrieve lost knowledge, foresee potential timelines, and awaken to the eternal now. And at the center of this mystery lies a forgotten codex, a text encoded with paradox, symbolism, and metaphysical riddles, a book most have never heard of, but one that might just change everything you thought you knew about time. In this video, we're going to uncover the truth behind this forbidden tome. We'll explore its origin, the mystics who guarded it, and the powerful metaphysical framework it presents, a framework that could allow you to expand your consciousness beyond the linear plane. You'll discover how time is not a straight line, but a loop, a spiral, a mirror of your inner evolution, and most importantly, how you can experience this yourself. But a warning, this knowledge has been hidden for a reason. Misunderstood, it can lead to obsession, distortion, even madness. Understood correctly, it offers liberation from the greatest illusion of all. So, are you ready to peer through the veil and unlock the secret art of psychic time travel? Long before modern science carved time into neat little hours, minutes, and seconds, before Einstein theorized it could bend, and before Hollywood turned it into a spectacle, ancient civilizations understood time in ways we are only beginning to rediscover. To them, time was not linear. It was sacred, cyclical, and deeply interwoven with the soul's journey. In Egypt, the priests of Heliopolis spoke of Jet and Nihe, two aspects of time, one fixed and eternal, the other flowing and dynamic. The Mayans charted cosmic time through intricate calendars spanning thousands of years, claiming to access other epochs through ritual and trance. And in the East, yogis spoke of Kalachakra, the wheel of time, suggesting that with enough inner stillness, one could step outside its turning altogether. But among the most mysterious of all time-related doctrines is that which surrounds a rare and elusive text, the Liber Tenebris Temporum, the Book of the Dark Times. Said to have originated in the pre-Socratic mystery schools, fragments of its teachings later surfaced in obscure alchemical manuscripts and even in the margins of certain Gnostic Gospels. Some scholars believe it was compiled by an unnamed initiate of Hermetic tradition, a magus who had traveled between Alexandria, Babylon, and the mountains of Persia, gathering fragments of forbidden lore. The text was never meant for the uninitiated. Its language is riddled with cipher, paradox, and allegory, because what it truly conveys cannot be read with the eyes alone. According to whispered legends, the book outlines a metaphysical model of time wherein consciousness is the true clock. Time, it claims, is not something we pass through, but something we generate, a projection of awareness filtering through memory and expectation. In this view, past and future exist simultaneously, like different radio frequencies waiting to be tuned into. Through meditative attunement, dream incubation, and sacred geometry, the initiates of this teaching claim to be able to move their awareness into these other frequencies, into past lives, future possibilities, even into collective epochs outside personal experience. This was not just philosophy. It was praxis. These teachings were said to have been guarded by secret societies who feared what might happen should this knowledge fall into the hands of those who sought power over others rather than liberation of the self. The Church, during its consolidation of spiritual authority, labeled these texts heretical, dangerous, and demonic. Entire volumes were burned. Those found studying or practicing its rites were silenced, sometimes permanently. And yet, like a weed that grows even through stone, the knowledge persisted in hidden lineages, underground temples, and encrypted manuscripts passed hand to hand. Why was it so feared? Because if time can be altered from within, then so can fate. And if fate can be rewritten by an individual, then institutions built on control lose their power. This knowledge does not make you a servant to destiny, it makes you its author. Philosophically, this changes everything. Time, viewed through this lens, is not a prison, it's a mirror. The future isn't a destination, it's a resonance of who you are now. The past isn't gone, it's encoded in your field, and you can revisit it, not just to remember, but to reintegrate, to shift what echoes forward into your present timeline. To truly grasp the mechanics of psychic time travel, one must first let go of the rigid idea that time is something external, something that marches forward with cold indifference. The ancients taught that time is not a tyrant, it is a servant of consciousness. And consciousness itself is not bound by space or time, it is the source from which time unfolds. In the forbidden pages of the Liber Tenebris Temporum, time is described not as a straight arrow, but as a sphere, multidimensional and elastic, responsive to the observer's level of awareness. At the heart of the book lies a profound principle known as the temporal mirror. According to the text, every moment in time is encoded within the field of consciousness like a holographic imprint. Just as a dream can feel vividly real yet exist outside physical time, so too can a trained mind access moments beyond the present. But this isn't about imagination or fantasy, it's about resonance. The temporal mirror suggests that each moment in time vibrates at a unique frequency, and the human consciousness, much like a tuning fork, can align itself with those frequencies through intention, ritual, and altered states. Imagine a grand library, not made of stone or paper, but of pure memory, every moment that has ever occurred, and every moment that could occur, stored in luminous fields of possibility. You are not a passive reader in this library. You are the librarian, the architect, and the traveler. But in order to access these alternate shelves of time, you must step beyond the chatter of the logical mind and into the silence between thoughts, where intuition speaks and the soul remembers. The Liber offers cryptic instructions, initiatic riddles, meditative diagrams, and symbolic language, for how to reach this altered state. One such practice involves what is called the axis alignment. This is not a physical axis, but an energetic one, a line that runs vertically through the self, linking the root of your being to the cosmic source. When activated through breath control and visualization, this axis becomes a kind of bridge, an elevator for the soul. The practitioner, entering a state of deep trance, begins to feel the density of the present dissolve, replaced by impressions, sounds, even visions from another time. These aren't hallucinations, the text insists, they're echoes. Reflections. Energetic fingerprints left behind by events that still reverberate in the great web of time. The Liber warns, however, that time is not merely a playground. There are zones of distortion, realms where unresolved emotional residue, personal or collective, can ensnare the unprepared traveler. These are the fragments we call ghosts, karma, or ancestral wounds. Psychic time travel is not simply a curiosity, it's a responsibility. To navigate time is to navigate the soul. What you see in these excursions may not always be pleasant. You may glimpse past failures, or futures you fear, but therein lies the opportunity, to rewrite the inner script, to collapse timelines no longer serving your evolution, and to choose consciously which path you walk forward. And yet, this raises a tantalizing question. If we can visit the past or the future through consciousness, can we change it? The Liber Tenebris Temporum doesn't answer this directly, it speaks in symbols and allegory. But one passage stands out, the river bends where the traveler remembers differently. The wound unremembered is the wound that endures. But the scene is the seed replanted, grows anew. This is not about changing history in the Hollywood sense. It is about altering the relationship within. The past does not change, but your resonance with it can. And when that resonance shifts, so too does the shape of what emerges ahead. This is the foundation of psychic time travel, not escapism, but inner alchemy. Not bypassing life, but reclaiming your place as co-creator of time's unfolding. To delve deeper into the mysteries of psychic time travel, we must confront one of the most elusive paradoxes of human existence, memory. Memory is often thought of as the residue of the past, a backward glance etched into the folds of the brain. But what if memory is far more than that? What if it is a bridge, a two-way corridor that not only records what was but also projects what could be? The Liber Tenebris Temporum hints that memory is not bound by chronology. Instead, it exists in a liminal field the text refers to as tempus interstitium, the time between. This is a metaphysical space where past, present, and future overlap like reflections in a hall of mirrors. In this in-between realm, dreams are not mere hallucinations of the sleeping mind. They are time echoes, reverberations of moments across lifelines, slipping through the veil when our ego loosens its grip. Ancient cultures understood this intuitively. The Aboriginal peoples of Australia spoke of the Dreamtime, a timeless realm where all moments exist simultaneously, accessible through trance, ritual, and deep communion with the land. The Tibetan Buddhists refer to Bardo states, intermediary dimensions between death and rebirth, but also between waking and dreaming. The Liber suggests that dreams are, in fact, the training grounds of time travel. When you dream, you are already walking the spiral staircase of time. The only difference is that you have forgotten how to remain lucid as you ascend. That's why certain ancient initiates, like the priests of Thoth in Egypt or the Essenes in Judaic mysticism, dedicated their lives to cultivating lucidity. They weren't merely meditating. They were mapping time. They used symbols, chants, and geometric patterns to stabilize their awareness in the astral realm, allowing them to move backward into ancestral trauma or forward into future revelations with precision. The pyramids themselves, some esoteric traditions claim, are not tombs, they are time temples, designed to harness and direct energy in such a way that the initiate could step outside of temporal bounds. The architecture of time, according to the Liber, is mirrored in sacred geometry. Just as a spiral galaxy follows mathematical principles, so too does the spiral of time. The Fibonacci sequence, the golden ratio, and fractal harmonics are not just visual beauty, they are the skeleton of time itself. When you meditate upon these forms, when you draw them, walk them, or even breathe in rhythm with them, you begin to align your consciousness with the deeper blueprint of reality. And once aligned, the veil between now and then grows thin. But not all who tread this path do so with pure intent. Throughout history, there have been those who sought to use this knowledge to manipulate collective timelines, whether through mass ritual, propaganda, or psychic interference. The Liber speaks cryptically of the false architects, entities or individuals who hijack humanity's timeline by planting seeds of fear, war, and separation. These seeds distort the temporal resonance of the collective, anchoring us to lower timelines where suffering and disempowerment become dominant themes. Yet, the text reassures, these distortions can be corrected. It is the awakened traveler, one who has remembered their capacity to witness without fear, who can reclaim these threads and reweave the future. The book uses the metaphor of a loom. Your thoughts are the shuttle, your emotions the thread. Each moment of awareness is a stitch in the fabric of your destiny. You are not simply living through time, you are weaving it. One of the more advanced teachings within the Liber is that time is not a river, but a song. Each timeline is a melody. Most people are humming unconsciously, replaying ancestral tunes handed down through trauma or repetition. But when you become conscious of your inner music, through ritual, meditation, or dream work, you can shift the key, change the tempo, even compose new harmonies altogether. This is not metaphor. This is mechanics. Ancient initiates believed that everything vibrates, including moments. By raising your vibration, emotionally, spiritually, even physically, you harmonize with higher timelines, ones already existing in the field of potential. The future is not waiting for you to arrive. It is waiting for you to remember. So the question is no longer, can you travel through time? The real question is, which timeline are you feeding with your thoughts, your emotions, your choices? And can you learn to step, not into time's flow, but into its silence? So how does one actually begin to experience psychic time travel, not as theory, but as living reality? How do we open the gate within, step beyond the ticking clock, and enter the timeless field described by mystics and encoded within the Liber Tenebris Temporum? The first key is stilling the internal chronometer, the mind's compulsive need to label everything as past, present, or future. This obsession with temporal separation is the great illusion that binds us to linearity. To break this trance, the ancient sages prescribed the rite of stillness, a daily practice that cultivates awareness of the eternal present, where all timelines converge. Begin by sitting in silence at the transitional points of the day, dawn or dusk. These liminal hours were seen as temporal thresholds, the thin places where the veil is weakest. Close your eyes and breathe deeply, in cycles of 4, 7, 8. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 7, and exhale for 8. With each breath, visualize a spiral expanding from your heart, wrapping around you like a golden cocoon. This spiral is not random, it echoes the Fibonacci sequence, the universal spiral of growth that exists in galaxies and seashells alike. As the spiral expands, allow your awareness to drift, not outward, but inward, into the stillness between thoughts. In this space, images may rise. Memories. Visions. Flashes of lives you've lived or might yet live. Do not chase them. Observe them as you would clouds passing overhead. This passive witnessing, taught by the Hermetic schools, is how the mind begins to attune to other temporal frequencies. With practice, you will begin to notice that certain memories don't belong to this lifetime. Certain insights come with the emotional weight of experiences you never had, at least, not in this body. These are signs that your consciousness is touching the edge of the tempus interstitium. The second practice is dream seeding, a technique that has existed in various forms across cultures. The Egyptians called it night navigation, and the Sufi mystics referred to it as walking in the gardens of time. Before sleep, enter a meditative state and pose a specific question, not to your logical mind, but to your deeper self. For example, show me a moment from a past life that is affecting me now, or reveal a future possibility I am ready to receive. Keep a journal beside your bed and record whatever arises, no matter how strange or fragmented. Over time, patterns will emerge, timelines will begin to reveal themselves. You will start to notice events in waking life that echo your dreams, confirming that time is not flowing away from you, it is flowing through you. Another profound method is the use of symbolic objects, what the Liber calls temporal anchors. These can be physical items, an old photograph, a stone from a meaningful place, a sigil drawn by your own hand. Through ritual focus and repeated intention, these objects become resonant links to specific moments or archetypes within time. Holding them during meditation can trigger psychic impressions or emotional shifts that anchor you into nonlinear awareness. But perhaps the most transformative practice of all is emotional recoding. The Liber teaches that unresolved emotions act as gravitational wells in time, pulling your consciousness back into past wounds or propelling it toward anxious futures. When you consciously revisit a memory and apply forgiveness, compassion, or understanding to it, you do not erase the event, but you rewrite the resonance. And this, in turn, reshapes the timeline you walk forward into. Many who begin this work report spontaneous moments of déjà vu, prophetic dreams, or sudden insights into personal and collective history. These are not anomalies. They are signs that your consciousness is detaching from the false god of chronology and beginning to dance with the deeper rhythm of kairos, sacred time. There will be resistance. The ego will try to reassert linear control. You may doubt yourself. You may feel disoriented. This is normal. You are not just learning a new skill. You are unlearning a false paradigm that has been drilled into you since birth. But if you persist, with reverence, discipline, and open curiosity, you will discover that psychic time travel is not just a mystical ability. It is a birthright. It is remembering what your soul has always known, that you are not in time. Time is in you. What if the ticking of the clock has never told the full story? What if the calendar, the chronology, the so-called progress of time, is just the surface layer of a much deeper current, one that flows not forward, but inward? We've journeyed through ancient rites, hidden manuscripts, and the labyrinths of consciousness to uncover what few dare to explore. That time is not an external force, but an internal field, one shaped with every thought, every emotion, every choice. The Liber Tenebris Temporum doesn't offer cheap tricks or fantastical escapes. It offers a mirror. And in that mirror, we see a reflection of something profound. We are not just beings in time. Time is a dimension that exists within us. We are not the first to uncover this. The mystics and seers of ancient civilizations, whether nestled in Egyptian temples, hidden in Himalayan caves, or walking the deserts of forgotten lands, left behind subtle clues encoded in myth, symbol, and sacred structure. They understood something modern science is only beginning to suspect, that time is fluid, responsive, and inextricably linked to consciousness. They didn't see the past as fixed or the future as unknowable. They saw time as a spiral, a song, a living field one could learn to enter, navigate, and even influence. And so perhaps the most radical, empowering realization is this: you are already time traveling. Each time you recall a painful memory with fresh insight, or imagine a brighter future with emotional conviction, you alter the energetic landscape of your own timeline. The only question is, are you doing this consciously? Or are you drifting, unaware, repeating echoes from timelines you no longer wish to walk? The mirror has been placed before you. The ancient knowledge once hidden, burned, or dismissed now stirs again, within your reach. You now hold the keys. Whether through dreamwork, ritual, or simple daily presence, you have the ability to reshape your relationship with time, and in doing so, reshape your destiny. So the choice is yours. Will you return to the ticking of the clock, to the trance of linearity? Or will you step beyond, into the spiral of remembrance, and become the traveler your soul has always been? If this stirred something within you, if it lit a fire in your memory, then speak it. Share your visions, your questions, your echoes from other times. Subscribe for deeper explorations. And above all, stay curious, because the truth was never lost, it's been patiently waiting for you to remember.